Turffontein inside track, second race. Favourite is this horse Pure Predator, who won impressively last time, 12-10, currently 9-10. Eventually got the better of what was a heavily supported favourite on that occasion, and it does appear on form and on betting like this horse is going to follow through, Mr. Burrows.
A very smart debut, I thought. When he got up to beat Give Me Another Chance, he was a long way back going through the 400. He never looked like winning, and he absolutely took off. So Pure Predator to beat Fire and Flames.
Predator to beat Fire and Flame, straightforward of those. There are a few that haven't run. I'm not sure if we know anything about those that haven't.
I don't know anything about the first timers, Clyde. Number 7, well, there is a comment for number 7, and he's a half brother to Miss Daisy. Will Need. That's all I know about the first timers.
Okay.
If this was up the straight, I'd say yes, Pure Predator close to a good thing, but it's not, Clyde. He now goes around the bend, 1200 inside track. Is that right? Fire and Flames. I'm sure he's going to go to the head of the fairs, and he's a pacey sort. I don't see Gavin bustling Pure Predator in his second start because he left him alone on debut. I don't think they're going to change and try hold Fire and Flames out for the lead. So he's going to, hopefully he's going to be in contention turning for him. So yes, he's those two to fight it out with the experience.
Interesting. Neither of them have been around the turn, so it'll be interesting to see. I must say I was quite impressed with Fire and Flames' last run, but Pure Predator does have a lot of scope. Let's go. Let's take a look at what the guys are doing. There's 2 bipots, I believe, so thank you, Ricky. Let's put those up. Darren Burrows is going banker 2 by banker 2 by banker 1 by 2 and 6 by banker 2, and then all of those horses hoping to survive the last leg. Well, he will, I would imagine, with all those numbers in there. And but he does find the first 3 parts of the bipot relatively easy. Daryl Marie's got one for you, and he wants to double up in the, well, he's looking to double up in the bipot, so he's going 1 and 2 by 2, 5, 6 by banker 1 by 6, 8, 10 by 2 and 8 by 2 and 11, and he's looking for the safer play in this bipot. When we did the show this morning on Wednesday, Heirloom obviously called to run, but was out in Maritzburg, so it's unlikely, I would imagine, unlikely. But at this point in time, Heirloom tops the boards at 28-10. So I guess we need to assume 2 ways here. Darren, I would imagine not going to run, but let's see race time. What's the story? I see Lucky Udalarka's got a first-timer in here.
I think we can exclude Heirloom because she is running on Wednesday. iStar impressed me on debut. Lovely, big action filly. And to get up over 1,000 meters showed she's got ability. She's going to be much more suited to the 1,200. There's a lot of talk for Egyptian Mo or Egyptian Mao from the Lucky Udalarka stable. So I would include this in all your bets. So 2 to beat 6 to beat 1.
Okay, so there are a few in here, I guess, that you have to take into consideration. iStar did win impressively, but there's some first-timers in here. I don't know if you know anything about Lucky's horse. Is there a comment?
No, there's no comment. Okay. What I do know is that she's related to Munchkin.
Oh, okay,
and
well bred.
That's highly regarded by the stable.
Well bred, yeah.
She has found the betting supports on certain websites. So I don't know if it's stable money at this stage, but there has been some interest in her anti-post market. Darling Harbour, there is a comment with regards to her. She's a nice filly, but she may just need the experience. Her dam won 3 races between the distances of 1,200 and 1,400. And then iStar, she's obviously unbeaten. The filly that she beat, Clyde, I know she never franked the form, but she ran second herself to her first-timer, who potentially could be anything. So iStar, the dam won over a mile. I think she's going to love the extra, and she's obviously open to plenty improvement. I just don't know how strong these first timers are, so I went 2, 5 and 6.
Okay, we don't know, but the rumour is that the Udalarka's horse, well bred, Munchkin, family of Munchkin, and there's been some early support, so obviously showing something at home. Place accumulators, here we go for you. We'll put some up for you. We've got Daryl's 2, 5 and 6, just due to the fact that he's kind of uncertain, and then banker the 1 in the next leg of your place accumulator by 6, 8 and 10, by 2 and 8, by 2 and 11, by 1, 3, 7, 9 and 12, and 2 and 3 at the back. Let's get on to this 1450 now. It's a race that there are a few in here that would have chances. A horse like Raptor Island, who's the current favourite, priced up at 13 to 10, would be the horse to beat. And interesting to see how Raptor Island will do over the ground as well. And Phantom of the Forest over the 1450 is likely to be more suited to that as well. So one, I suppose, has got to give that utmost respect, Darren. But Raptor Island been holding form strong.
Yes, since he's gone to the Tony Peters stable, he's really done well in his 2 starts, a third and a second to Brave Viking. He'll take a lot of beating. He'll push forward. Horses like Phantom of the Forest and Sky Velocity, they're not going to Hollywood, and they've had their chances. So I made it the horse to beat, and I included Knight's Table as the danger, the Hoodalakis runner with Craig Zaki. Showed a lot of pace on debut and then was found not striding out behind Winter Greeting. So this horse could come back with a big run after a 3-month break.
Okay, so hasn't run for a while, but there's a bit of a shrewdy caught Knight's Tail. Raptor Island, Phantom of the Forest, is it 2 or is it you come down to 1?
Yeah, Phantom of the Forest, very disappointing, Clyde. Obviously, Joe Somo will have a line because Raptor Island was beaten by Bold Viking last time out, and I believe Joe rates Bold Viking
very highly. Yeah.
You can't compare the two. So from that draw, I'm going to play to beat Phantom of the Island, Phantom of the Forest. Sorry, Sky Velocity, very very average filly, could run into the money. Raptor Island, I've never been a fan of this horse, Clyde, due to the strength of his form lines. They haven't been great, but his 2 runs on the high fault have been very good. Clyde, in below average races like this, luck in running plays a huge part, and he's going to get everything his own way, I believe. From a 1 draw, he should really get the run of the race. He's got racing fitness. I see him winning, and I actually see him starting in the red. Third on that occasion was Mo the Man, who got touched off by Jet Dynasty. A nice loss, Ruffy, for your trifectas and swingers, Clyde. On form, it's got no chance. Number 5, Going Global. Peak run, now gain a little bit further. Throw me into your trifecta. So I'm going to say 1, very hard to beat, and possibly start in the red.
Okay, and you like Going Global as a trifecta horse. Tyrant Zaki does seem to pop up with those shrewdies every now and then. And, of course, Darren Burrows says don't leave out the 7 Knight's Tale from a shrewd perspective. Put it into the play. But Raptor Island does appear to be the horse to beat here. Here we're going with our pick sixes now. This is race number 4 on the card, where we're going 1 and 7 in the first leg. So Darren looking for a bit of an upset with this horse from Lucky's stable by 2 and 6. By bank of the 2 in the third leg of his pick 6, that horse being Tulip Tree. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 by field, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. Maybe this one can get the sort of, what would you call it, thumbs up. Race 5 is a classified stakes. There's a whole lot of them that have got to have some sort of chances in a race like this. We'll go through the market, give you an idea on Wednesday what it looked like. So when you get to race time, you can see if they've shortened or drifted. Number 8, Burmese Tiara, favourite on Wednesday at 7 to 2. 4, Bloomington, second choice, priced up at 9 to 2. 7, Welcome Breeze is at 6 to 1. 6, Napoleon 7s. And 2 Vesuvio 8s. And then you've got 10 to 1 and better about the others. But this was open for you, hey, Darren?
Not actually. I only went the 2 runners here. I know it looks an open field on betting, but I like Napoleon. Have a look at his Cape Town form. 2 lengths Le Morne, 1.5 lengths Inamorare. Last time out was his first run on the high fault. Maybe he hadn't acclimatized yet, but 1800's too far, and he over-raced from a deep draw. So you can put an absolute line through that run. He was only beaten 6 lengths. The drop back to a mile from a decent draw. I think the Tony Peter runner with Dennis Schwartz, he's booting home the winners. I think Napoleon's good each way value. And I made the danger Vesuvio, who ran in the Dingons behind Union Square, ran 6 lengths off Bonetta. He takes a drop in class.
As well. Okay, interestingly enough, you're big on Napoleon. He's a decent price. He's 7 to 1 at the moment, and maybe it was too far last time.
Yes, I can see him running a much better race, Clyde. I'm hoping he gets handier in running. But have a look at this event. It's a classified stakes, and the weights favour the fairer sex. Burmese Tiara, obviously, Clyde, she's got the early toe to get into a good position. She's got the draw. She doesn't have to work. to get there. She's won 2 of her career victories on this inside track, so she goes well over here. I'm not going to discount her chances. A little bit of roughy from my side. Call Me the Breeze. Now, she was as high as an 86, Clyde. She's down to a 66. And have a look, she's only half a kilogram out with the best weighted. She gets fitted with a set of blinkers. I believe we're going to see major improvement from it. Number 10, Call Me the Breeze. And then obviously Napoleon's my third pick. So I'm going 8, 10, and 6. Call Me the Breeze, my value play.
But there's no, I mean, it's open, it's more than that. I mean, you're not drawing the line there, or are you?
Well, 6, 8, and 10, if anything else wins, I'm splat.
You're in trouble.
Splat.
Are you splatter? Well, you may well be splat because you haven't got Romeo's Magic in, where that form line has worked out tremendously well. I mean, that just want to remind you that from there came Absolute Value in 1, Celestial City 1, King of Rome 1, Lebecchio come to run a place, and I think that maybe over the mile, Jockey Up, they call it, Jockey Up, Gavin Larena in the saddle might be a bit of value. Don't leave it out of your play. Let's put something into what we want to do from the boys here. Darren Burrows says Napoleon's the value, currently 7-1. On to the next race on the card. Now let's have a look at what the boys want to do about this particular event. And top of the boards, Tulip Tree. Looks the right horse in the race, priced up 3-1. Cape Lights, however, got to have a chance. Joined 3-1. I'm going to come to Daryl Marie first and talk to him about the race to get an idea as to what he thinks we should do in a race of this nature. We've seen these horses a few times. I know you've fancied a couple of them. And I'm hoping you've dissected it where perhaps you can give us some confidence, or what's the...
Yeah, I can give you confidence in stopping in those two, Clyde.
In what?
Tree, stopping.
With those two?
Yeah.
That's where you draw the line.
And Cape Lights.
Nothing else can win.
Now, Pascal Samora is obviously the natural front runner via Clyde. Cape Lights could slot in behind her in second and certainly get the run of the race. My concern with Tulip Tree is she's got a 1 draw. I hope she doesn't go too handy from that draw, because last time out, when she was dropped out to last, she showed an exceptional turn of foot. She is 2.5 kilograms worse off with Cape Lights. So for that reasoning, I don't think there's going to be much separating the two of them, and I don't want to split them, Clyde. So 2 and 8 to fight it out. Based on the way I see things run, maybe Cape Lights to to get the better of her this time round. But Tulip Tree was super impressive.
Yeah, she was. She moved very well. Tell me, Darren Burrows, is it a 2-horse race?
Clyde, for me, I fancy Tulip Tree strongly. Now, when I looked at the betting for the first time, I thought she would be in the region of 18-10, and I saw 33-10 available. And I couldn't believe it because I watched that replay last time out, and she absolutely trotted up late to beat Cape Lights. She beat her quite comfortably. I know there's a 2.5 kilo swing, but this pace is going to be hot in this race, and she will be slicing through the field. So Tulip Tree for me over horses like Crimson Princess and Cape Lights.
Interestingly enough, when you watch that replay that the guys are talking about, Cape Lights was exposed early, and Tulip Tree was tucked away and hidden behind, running on, and eventually just sweeps past Cape Lights. And it's just all about tactics here. That's the jackpot. That's the play. That's the intention. Let's hope we catch. Race number 7, 4-1 the field. Darren Burrows. Call the Wind tops the boards at 4-1. Number 2 on the Wednesday. 8 English Primroses 11-2, and then you can get 6-1 about number 10 Midnight Crystal. Sean Terry's been booting home winners, and they're currently trading that horse at 6-1. Must have some sort of claim in a race like this, I would have thought, but I'd imagine as open as they come.
Very open, Clyde. My first choice narrowly is Midnight Crystal. She got a bit tight for galloping room the final 100. I think she would have run second last time out. 51 kilos to shoulder. Island Beauty. Now she's out of Illabella. She should have no problems with the trip now that she's learnt how to settle. And I was impressed with her maiden victory by 3.5 lengths. You got a horse like Call the Wind from Zimbabwe. I think she was unbeaten over there. And her rating took time to drop, but now she's off a competitive rating. There are others to consider too.
Yeah, to be honest, it is rather confusing. I would have thought it's open, not easy. It's a handicap, Phillies and Mares. It's at the 69 level, Daryl. So, I don't know. Phillies and Mares, what, field and more? Or what?
What price is Call the Wind, Clyde? Number 2?
Call the Wind trading currently Wednesday morning
4-1.
at 4-1, yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge price in my opinion. I mean, she arrived in South Africa with a rating of 77. She's down to 68. Off of 77, she was far from disgraced. She was never far off them. I actually was very impressed with her latest effort on the inside track. She was closing in stoutly. We saw what Tinder Dry win from there. We saw Red Maple, who ran fourth, come out and ran second in the Oaks trial.
Yeah,
Behind Ipso Facto.
that's right.
So Call the Wind off the same rating. I think she's going to take a lot of beating. I think she's worth a nibble at 4-1. The danger I made, the 7-year-old mare, Clyde. Can you believe that? Number 11.
I can believe it.
Winning Queen. Now, she's only got 50 kilograms to shoulder. She does well on the inside track over here. 3 runs back over the same course and distance. She wasn't beaten far at all. Indirectly, last year and Go Flickerty have won from her latest form line. So, Call the Wind, hard to beat. My Ruffy, obviously, Winning Queen. But Clyde, if you look past those, it's wide open.
It's wide open. I mean, it was like Follow the Flow from Just Be Nice. That horse came out at one Rattlebag. I think the only runner from the form. So anything's possible. But if you found this horse, Call the Wind, which Daryl Marie has, he says that may well be the Shruti and that 4-1's a decent price, perhaps worth looking at in what is a Phillies and Mares 69 open race. But here we go. Here's some selections for you. From Daryl, he's going just 2-11, Call the Wind, and that outside he found that was Winning Queen with 1-3-7-9-12 in the second last leg of the pick 3. And the last race today, he likes all of 1, 2, 3, 8 and 9. 8th and penultimate of the day. It's a handicap. We're at the 66 level now. It's over 2,000 meters on the Wednesday morning when we did this. The market has got a horse like 7-2 to field about this horse Oyster King. It's got to have some sort of claim in a race like this. One would have thought. One Monsieur Cheval. We've been for that a few times. 4-1. Number 9 Latuli's at 4-1, and then you've got 7s and better about the others. I'll go to Darren Burrows. Maybe it's a trifecta quartet race. It's bound to pay well. This Darren.
Clyde, I thought an absolute field race this. If Latuli doesn't win, he's stepping up to the 2,000 for the first time, and he's only got 52 kilos to shoulder, and the blinkers, he really improved last time out. So if he sees out the trip, he's the horse to beat. I made it very tricky. I couldn't dissect the form.
About Daryl, this horse Monsieur Cheval. I like the prime example because Son of Raj we saw come out and win the other day, and Follow My Path came out and won. So the form is fairly strong. I mean, you just tell me about Monsieur Cheval. It is the inside track now. I know you've fancied it a few times. Maybe it was a bit stiff not to have beaten prime example last time, but what do you like now?
He's not in my top 3. I'll give him a chance. I've put him in my perms. I
You've
think he's
liked
better
him a
at the
few
bar.
times. Why is he not in your top 3?
A lot of weight to shoulder, Clyde. He really had the race own up last time out. Mark Khan was posing and he didn't get the job done. I like the look of number 7 of Man's Night. Now, Clyde, this horse has contested a handicap in the past. He wasn't beaten too far. That was off a rating of 59, and he was desperately in need of that run, Clyde. He's now dropped to 57. He's having his peak run back in a handicap. Tongue tie gets fitted. The half-brother to Malmoose, Clyde, is going to show a lot of improvement because we've seen those horses are starting to turn now. Excuse me. What price is he? 12-1. Man's Night.
Yep.
Okay, he's each-way play. A little bit of a lunatic for trifectas and quartets, Clyde. Number 12, Moon Valley. He's got no form whatsoever.
Yeah, I see that.
But he's straight into a handicap, Clyde. He's only got 52 kilograms to shoulder. And take note, I know he's been one pace, but a set of blinkers goes on. If he can get handy and into the race this time around, this isn't a strong lineup whatsoever, Clyde. Don't leave him out of any bets.
Okay, number 12, Moon Valley, you're Shruti. But Man's Night is the horse to beat for you, number 7?
For me, definitely, yes.
So this is a maiden going into a handicap, right?
I'm
Hasn't
happy with
won
that.
a race, yeah?
I'm happy with it.
I don't know, have we seen one win?
Sometimes it's easier, Clyde.
It is. Have we seen lately a maiden win a handicap?
Shush.
I don't think we
We
have.
saw a maiden win class whatever yesterday. Supreme Dream
Okay.
against winners.
Yeah, but I mean,
And those are basically handicaps.
Are they? Okay, all right. Well, that's all. At least it's the right. We've been, for a long time we've been trying to get maidens that are struggling maidens to try and take on 66 handicaps and things like that, because perhaps they'd have a easier chance of winning. Let's see. Maybe Paul Matchett's made the right choice. It could well be the winning move. Let's have a look at what we're going to do in this race. It became with Man's Night, the value play from Daryl Marie. Last race today, the market's got Pendragon, top of the boards 3-1, joined with number 8 Power Ranger, who may well be the horse to beat here at 3-1. 9 Dark Tide is trading at 7-2, and Kabisi's at 11-2. So Fani Bronkhorst has got 2 of the 3 in terms of the market, top of the market in Pendragon and Dark Tide. Maybe it's the Fani Bronkhorst race, Mr. Burrows.
Could be, Clyde. How's this horse Power Ranger? Every time he comes to the race course, he shortens heavily in the betting and he gets beat. He's still a one-time winner. I think he won his second start and he's had 22 starts now. He is going to rate the horse to beat still. I like that third behind Back in Business, who is very highly regarded. He did get a 3-point penalty, but he still races off a very competitive mark. I've actually tipped a quartet, Floating Banker, Power Ranger, with a number of other runners. So hopefully he's going to run in the first 4 as usual, and we can get a result around him.
Yeah, may well be right. I know Kabisi's got top weight, but the Trident King form has worked out relatively well with that winning, and Just Be Nice winning, and a few others having come into run a place. I don't know if you give it any sort of chance in Kabisi here.
I put him into my jackpot, I think it was. Clyde, Pendragon obviously is going to get the run of the race. Gavin Lorena rode him over the 5 furlongs last time out on the inside track. He flashed up very, very late, and I think Gavin said to Fani, let's try find a 6 furlong on the inside track from a good draw, and they've cracked it this time round. So Mercer Girl franked that form. Yes. Not the strongest of form lines, but this isn't the strongest of lineup, so I respect him. A huge roughie to consider, Clyde. Number 2, Tilly Angus, having his peak run now. Rating right down, to 65. Have a look at his past runs. Sometimes this horse can flash up and run above his rating. Off a 65, I think he could sneak into the back end of the trifecta or the quartet. Others to include Dark Tide, Power Rangers, always thereabouts. But yes, I think Pendragon's going to run another honest race. Tilly Angus at 33-1, my roughie.
Any price. Okay, 2 and 3 from Daryl's perspective, and you heard from Darren that, well, who knows, a horse like Power Ranger, every time comes to the races, there's support, so, one would expect that Power Ranger will be a big runner again. Well, what are we doing in the last? Here it is. It's a Floating Bank of the 8 from Darren, Power Ranger, with the horses that are on screen. We're spending a bit of money on that. Hopefully we can get that quartet in the 9th and final here at the Big T.